Hello, welcome to the third video. This video is going to be a little different. Right now, I'm going to talk to you guys about what we're going to be doing in this video, what it's going to be. We are going to be doing, never said this on the channel, but I'm a drifter. I'm 18. I drift at a local track called Infinity Circuit. Really good drift track, really good beginner track. I drift there. Been drifting for about 4 years now, and let's introduce you to the car. Alright, so this is my 03 Nissan 350Z BQ35DE. We have it in the air right now. I'm going to be showing you guys what to go over on the drift track and like what you need to do for beginning to drift, like before the event. This is the day before, so I'm going to be showing you guys what to do the day before the drift event and what all you need to do. I'll go over a little modification kit on what I have done to the car. So I have a GK Tech full front end. So the whole front end of the car is GK Tech. So GK Tech full front end. I have let's open the car up. GK Tech handbrake. I have a Sparko seat with a harness. That seat's just a normal seat. It's a cobalt seat in it. Got a quick release. That's really about it. The rest of the car's kind of stock. It's got a full exhaust with headers and test pipes, but other than that, the whole kind of car is kind of stock. As you can tell, we got the dual caliper setup on the rear right here. But what we are going to be doing today is basically I'm going to be going over what it takes just to like a quick inspect of what I do before I go to the drift track. So these are like normal rules that they give the drifters and like what you should do before you go to the drift track. Just check over the car. Right now, when I did the double handbrake, because I added this caliper, there's a GK Tech bracket on here and it's making this get stretched out. So there's a wheel hub and then there's the axle, of course. But what it's going on right now is that the axle is getting stretched to the wheel hub. So there's like a space that's getting stretched, so the wheel won't really spin freely, and that's because that axle is getting stretched. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the axles out. I had to modify it because it's for 350Z. These are 370Z axles and hubs because they're a little bit beefier than the 350s. The 350s like to go out a lot when you're doing drifting. But so since I have that, I had to put a little bit more diameter in the inner hole on the axle spacer. So we are going to be doing that right now. And then I'm going to do a quick look over. What I normally do, just real quick, is I'll show you guys, is I make sure my fire extinguisher is good because you need one of those. I make sure my battery's tied down. I make sure all the oil's all the same. I'm not low on oil or anything. I make sure the brakes are good. And I have a little bit of a bolt that came out of the exhaust, so I'm going to be doing that. As you can tell here, I also have full suspension all the way around, so I don't have like the bucket set up in the rear anymore. So it has that is where the bucket used to go, so I got that deleted because I got full setup all the way around of coils. It's the same thing in the front. Now these are just some cheapish coils. I mean, they're good coils. Don't get me wrong, they're really good coils. They last me a while now, but they're not like the best quality coils, so I'm gonna get BCs later. But they're called, I think, Godspeed coils. They're good if you want to get into drifting and you just want a little bit better setup on your car. Then I would definitely recommend them. They're like 600 bucks. BCs are like 1200 or something like that. But let's get into me doing just basically the axle stuff on the car and getting the car ready. So let me get into that real quick. Let's get that done. We're gonna need to pop out these axles, put the spacer in, pop them back in. Shouldn't be too hard, so let's get to it. So got the lug on here. Now this is what I noticed. It's hand loose, which is not very good and not very ideal. You never really want your hub or AK your fucking wheel nut to your axle nut to the hand loose. So yeah, that's why we're gonna be putting the fucking wheel spacers in there. Sorry for my language. Let's talk. There's a little. Let's try to get this off of here. This is always the hardest thing. Is trying to get the spacer off. Okay. So see how that's kind of. You can push it in and out, and see how you have to kind of pull it more for it to be out. That is because of this. There's no spacer in there. So let's pop this axle out. I have to do the other bolts on the diff. And let's pop this axle off. Put the wheel spacer in there. Pop the axle back on. Because there's a little bit of room now that you kind of need. So let's do that real quick. Alright, I'm going to try to make it where you guys can see, but see the axle? It's out now. So I have the axle there. And all it really is that you take this little disc and you have to put it in between the hub and the front of the axle. Now the problem I was having is that, see how this is kind of looks like it's grinded out? I had to grind this out because the 350Zs are a little bit smaller than the 370Z rear ends, and this has a 370Z rear end. So I had to grind this out so it can fit. Try to do this with one hand. So it could fit like that on the end of the axle. So it can fit on there. So that's the only thing I really had to do. So if you get this GK Tech kit and you have 370Z rear axles, which I highly recommend if you're drifting, I recommend you either get the 370Z ones and don't waste your money on the 350Zs, or just grind it out like I did. All I did was take a Dremel and grinded it out for a couple of minutes, and it works just fine. But yeah, let's put that on the back side of the hub. Let's try to make you guys see. I can't really get my camera back there, but it goes on the back side of this hub. So let me do that real quick, and then I'll get back to you guys. And I'm only gonna do this side. I don't think you guys want to see the other side, but I'm only gonna do this side. Same thing, exact thing with the other side. You do the same thing, and you're good. And then I'll go over the rest of what I do the day before a drifting event. Of course, I highly recommend you don't do this the day before, but if you need to, you can. I'm gonna go over what else I do. So like all the little things, like I normally do some other stuff too. Like I'll just go over it in a second. So let me do this, and then we'll go back into what we were doing. Okay, so now we're taking the axle nuts off. So the axle nuts go to the diff. You don't know. No, you do. You don't know, now you do. Go to the diff. See how it makes that noise? That's because the axle is trying to stretch itself out. And that's why there's a little bit of a play in there. That's why it's doing that. You can feel it. If you move the hub, you can feel it. It's a little bit of a play before you hit the axle, which is what you want to get rid of, and that's what these spacers do. Now it's a full GK Tech handbrake kit, and since it is a full GK Tech handbrake kit, it will get rid of this play because they give you some things. Now, quick note before you buy it, what I came across, and they didn't tell you this. If you have a 370Z, and a lot of drifters do that, if you have a 370Z rear end conversion, which all it really is just bolting up axles and bolting up wheel hubs, and that's it. So if you have that conversion, it's going to not fit first. You're gonna have to do a little bit of modification if you want, or GK Tech makes a full 370Z spacer for it, but I just did a little bit. It's not really a big one. If you have a Dremel, you can do it. All you do is you take the inside, and I'll show you guys what I did, but all you do is you take the inside and make it a little bit bigger for the 370Z rear axles to fit through there, because the 370Z rear axles are a little bit bigger than the 350Zs. That's why a lot of drifters do them, because they're a lot more durable. I used to go through an axle and a wheel hub a season, and the wheel hubs are just annoying as shit to put together because it's a one whole assembly. So when you're doing it, you're trying to, like, when you're drifting and when you're trying to replace a 350Z wheel hub, you have it's a one piece. So you have a whole different kind of, basically you just have a whole different kind of thing, and the 370Zs are a lot more sturdy. So that's what I did, is I just put a 370Z rear end conversion on it. It's a lot easier to replace, first of all, and you can find a lot more hubs for them, and the hubs are cheaper. Well, I mean, they're a little bit more, but I think they're actually might be a little bit cheaper for the hubs on these. But the hubs last a lot longer. Like, I've been drifting on this now for about 2 seasons now, and it just helps out a lot more. So yeah. So we're gonna be doing this. I'm doing this on a pavement, so it's not really the best because I got rocks in my back. But, well, you do what you gotta do. But I'm just gonna be, I'll do this as a fast time lapse because I don't think you guys want to sit here and see me take off it. I didn't bolt, so. Alright, welcome back to this is the drift day. We did all the inspect on the car yesterday. Today is just drifting, and I'm going to show you guys what we do there. I just got the car inspected. You take it to inspect, they inspect the car, like make sure it's all good to go on the track. Then they give you the good thumbs up, basically saying it's all good. They give you this called a driver tech pass sheet. Give you that, say, hey, your car's good. So I got the car all done. We're about to go out on the track. They're doing qualifying right now. I didn't make it in time for qualifying, so I can't qualify, but today is just going to be like a practice lap day, me doing practice laps and stuff. So today we're just going to be doing that, and we're going to get some clips of it. I'm going to go try to talk to some rim people and try to get a sponsorship from them. I got shirts. I'll show you guys those at the end of the video of the shirt drop of what shirts I made, and then I'll put the website and the link below on where to go buy them. But yeah, let's get into the video of us just doing drifting today. I'm also making hats. This is my hat, but I'm going to be making hats here soon in a sec. So let's get into the video of me just doing drifting today, and let's get into that. Alright, so we are going out onto the track. They're doing kind of a competition of who could do the best backy and stuff. So basically this is just going to be a fun little competition thing we're going to be going out onto. But yeah, we're going out on the track right now, so let's start going to do some drifting, and I'll put you guys into the edit right now. Happened, I lost all pressure in my handbrake. So that's the thing, is that I didn't really want to do it, but they had qualifying go on right away, and then after qualifying it was like,
oh, you have qualifying. Sweet. And now they had like a drift event where if you get a thumbs down, you get off. Stuff like that. And my handbrake just totally went out on me. I don't know what it was. It just literally totally nothing for the first couple laps. So I was like, what the hell? And I didn't expect that. So you get that sometimes when you go out on the track the first time. I really wish I would have been able to do it earlier so I could have figured out that problem, but you know, it was whatever. Alright, so we went out, we did the drift games is what they call it here. It's like drifting, they do tandem stuff like that. I lost in the first round of the drift games, so got kicked out. I'm waiting for the drift games to be over so then we can go out to do just track time. So right now we're just kind of waiting to see when the drift games are over, and then when they're over, we'll do track time. So I'll get back to you guys when that is. It's just a lot of game stuff on this event, so probably they drift until night, so we'll drift until night. But right now they're just doing tandem stuff, so yeah. I'll get back to you guys when we're in the car. The track open to like just time, like go on the track, get as much seat time as you can. So I'm going out there right now. We're gonna get some seat time in the car. I tried fixing the handbrake. I think it was just loose because one of the like flanges that go to a T-fitting in the rear was loose and it wasn't like actually getting the fluid through. So I'm gonna see if this fix worked or not. Hopefully it did. If not, then we'll just clutch kick it basically. I don't need the handbrake to drift, but let's see if it works. Still leaking. I don't like that. I need to try to figure out why it's doing that. So I guess after this we'll try to figure out why it's doing that. I mean, it works. I don't know. I'm gonna just, you know, get some stuff and clean it. That was my bad. What is this dumbass doing? Don't get out of your fucking car, retard. Alright, if you ever had a drift event, don't be like that fucking retard, dude. He is stupid getting out of the car. Just don't be like him. That's fucking stupid. Don't ever do that if you're at a drift event. Car's feeling better though. I just wanted to point that out. Just don't ever get out of the car because that's a hazard towards yourself, not even towards the drivers. You get out of the car, no one realizes, or you're in a tandem and you get out of the car, no one realizes, you're out of the car, they're gonna be like, what the hell are you doing, bro? Because you can hit that person, like, it's stupid. Like, if my steering failed right there and I was going towards him, I would have hit him. And then I would have hit those guys. So that's why you never get out of the car. So you just kind of... Alright, so I just got done out on the track. We're going to see why the car feels really underpowered. And I don't know why. So I'm going to probably pull off the wheels, check all the torque on the axle nuts and all that stuff, and see if that's the reason why. Other than that, the car feels pretty okay. It doesn't feel too bad. So yeah, we're just gonna see why it feels really underpowered and see what it is, you know. But it's just hot. I need to cool down a little bit. It's a hot day out today. Someone lost their wheel. Oh, we're out on track. But the grippy tires in the rear definitely help out a lot. I don't know. It feels really underpowered with those grippy tires. I'm going to swap the tires out too, because this one's a little bit more money, and this is all coming out of my pocket. But really good tires in the rear. I'll get the brand to you guys at the end of the video, but we need to swap out the tires. So we're going to swap out to a 17-inch, but just a meteor tire, just some burn-off tires I got for cheap. And then we're going to go back out there. But right now the problem is that the car feels really underpowered. I don't know if it's the axle in the rear or something. I also adjusted the handbrake, and it was dark, so I might have adjusted the handbrake too much where some of the pads are rubbing against it, and it's just creating friction, which is creating the rear feel really like sluggish. But yeah, we're gonna see what it is. I'm gonna try to get a code reader here and see if someone has a code reader so I can erase the code. It has an engine light code, but normally it had an engine light code ever since I did the exhaust. It's for a O2 sensor, and it needs to get retuned. So I'm gonna see if that might be it, or see if there's anything else. But yeah, I'm gonna go change tires real quick, and then we'll probably head back out there. Okay, so right now it feels a little bit better. I can still hear, it sounds like I might have a wheel bearing going out, maybe. I don't know for sure, but it sounds like there might be a wheel bearing going out. So hopefully there's not, because I mean, if it is, it's not too bad. I'll just do it next event, or before next event I'll just go and replace the wheel bearing. But I really just don't want a wheel bearing going out. I mean, it's bound to happen. You're drifting, you're doing a lot of shit to your car. We're gonna get this thing aligned. That's what I really feel, is it needs alignment bad. But we're about to go out, so let's go out and do this. I need to go a little bit farther. I need to go a little bit farther up on that first corner. I'm in his way, I forgot. I thought he was just a driver. But back to what I was trying to say. I need to go a little bit farther up on that first corner, so I'm gonna try to do that real quick. Car's not too warm. My AC is on, don't actually work AC. Just runs the fans real quick, you know. But I'm trying, bro. That's a cool down lap. So my coolant temperature is pretty high. So I'm just gonna do a nice little lap to cool down. Feel out the car. I could definitely tell it needs an alignment, but other than that, it's okay. Definitely does need an alignment though. Badly too. I don't know what that popping noise in the rear is either. I hear that. Alright, so I just put the new tires on. All I did was adjust the e-brake because like they have normal e-brake pads that I still have in the car because when I park it I like to engage it. So all I did was really just adjust that, back them off a little bit because I think the pads were touching and it spins a lot easier in the rear just if you spin it with your hands. So we're going to see if it now works a little bit better. And if the car doesn't feel as underpowered, if it still feels underpowered, then I'm going to go just clear to the codes because I think that O2 sensor is just making it go into limp mode. So let's do that. So I'll see you guys in the car and let's go out on the track. He's leaking fuel. with this guy. Huh? Fuck it. The sim?
Yeah.
Hey Meta, new recording. I'm probably gonna do one more lap and then I'm gonna be done for the day. Hey Meta, begin recording.
Alright, those 2 laps, I only did 2. I have a little bit of videos of the other ones I'll throw in there of today, but those 2 laps, I felt like were probably the best. I got the car a lot warmed up. Front tires all warmed up. Rear tires are kind of warmed up. They're gonna switch to comp course. I'm going to want to run that. So I might switch to the stickier tires and run comp course with that. But I don't know, we'll see. But it's feeling good right now. I'm gonna go let the car cool down. I'm gonna cool down, it's pretty hot. And I'm gonna let the car cool down. I'm gonna cool down. As you can tell, the wheel's off aligned a lot because it needs alignment. So next event, we'll get the car aligned. But as of right now, it's doing good. Stick around towards the end of the video and you're gonna see the merch I'm dropping, and I'm gonna link the store below in the description. But I have a really cool merch, hats, hoodies, and shirts. I only have the hoodies and shirts right now. We're building the hats. We're working on the progress of that. But just keep until the end of the video and we're gonna see a very cool photo shoot of the hat. Alright guys, so the event is done for today. So this drift event is done. Hopefully you guys liked the video. Please like and subscribe. Now it's gonna go into the video of the shirt drop. So after the shirt drop, I'll get back to you guys. But this drift event's done. We're gonna clean up here, head back to the house. Next week we're gonna have the RX-7 posted of the driving down the road. So stay tuned for that. But I'm tired. It's hot out here. It's like 102, I think. And it's hot in the car. So I don't have my hat on, so my hair's crazy. But I'm tired. I'm gonna probably clean up and head home and take a nap. So watch the video of the merch drop, and I'll leave the link to get the merch and shirts in the bio below. But have a good one. Stick to the next video and next drift event. Peace.